everybody, welcome back to another video. My name is Kat, and yes, that is fountain penning on my hands. I just was messing around with fountain penning before I started this planning session, and some of it might also have ended up on the planner pages. So if you notice any streaks of red ink, no you don't, even though the ink on my hands is green. Yeah, the ink on my hands is green. But let's not talk about that. Newbie fountain pens and inks and all that jazz. So on to what is actually happening on the screen, which is that this is a plan with me for the week of December 8th through December 14th using this tree farm kit, literally named Tree Farm, from miss+meow, foiled in silver. This is one of the kits that she released after manufacturing had been moved over to Sadie Stickers. So this is her most current format, unless she does a reformat in the time that this voiceover and the video goes up. But then you'll see that in the comments below. So, or not the comments, the description bar, if that's the case. So, moving on, I picked this kit for this week because this is the week we actually did go to a tree farm and get our Christmas tree. We usually wait till about the second week in December just so that the tree definitely will survive through Christmas. I had made, before, like 2-3 years ago. Yeah, about no, about 3. 4 or 5 years ago. How long have we been living in this house? Yeah, about 5 years ago. Ooh, geez, time's going. 5 years ago, I was like, why don't we get the tree after Thanksgiving? My husband's like, one, everyone's gonna get their tree after Thanksgiving. Two, um, that tree ain't gonna make it. You're gonna have to pick like a really, really healthy tree. And sometimes you can tell based on how they look and how they're growing and all of that. But there are other factors that could get in the way of how long your tree lasts. Like the cut, like if you cut your own tree, that the how that cut is made could affect how long your tree lasts. Generally speaking, at a tree farm, like an established tree farm, they will do another cut before you leave, before they like wrap the tree up, or after. I guess you could do it after too. So that you could take it home. They'll do another solid like straight cut, just so that then the tree is able to drink water. But if they do a sloppy cut, or if you take too long to get home, like if you get your tree and then you go out to lunch and then you come back home, the sap, I think is what it is, the sap has time to like harden, and then your tree can't actually drink anything. So, or it has a harder time getting the water it needs. So your the life of your tree is dramatically shortened by that. I'm sure we didn't click on this video to get a lesson on how to pick a tree. And I'm not even an expert. My husband's the expert. He has had live trees his whole life. So I don't even know why I'm sitting here and explaining this, but this is my basic understanding of getting a tree from a tree farm. So I was glad that Regina had released a kit, like a green brown tree farm kit, for this for last year. um it was cold this particular, in 2024 when we got our tree. No, it's not 2024, it's 2025. um and we actually did cut it down this time. Normally we go and we have ambitions of cutting it down, but we don't always. Like, this is the first time we've actually cut it down. um uh, we were hoping Bub would be interested in cutting one down, but he was like, nah. I think we had just watched the episode of Bluey called Stump Fest, where they tear down the stumps, or like they rip out the stumps out of the ground. I think we just watched that episode, so he was just running around jumping on all of the stumps and saying Stump Fest, or he was playing Stump Fest. So that was our tree buying experience for this year. We actually got a what did we get this year? Hold on, maybe it's in my book. 1 second. My memory, my Bujo might have the tag. We got a different kind of tree than we normally get. We got a Douglas Fraser. Yeah, we normally get a different one. I don't remember. My husband usually takes care of all that stuff. Um, I take care of the decorating. He takes care of the tree maintenance. That's the payoff here. But it's the different trees have like how they look fuller or they look less full, but the branches might be sturdy. There's all sorts of like things with like your Christmas trees. But we got a Douglas Fraser this year, which I think he said it's like not as full, but it's like fluffier. It's a fluffier kind of tree. So yeah, that is I think that will be the end of my tree spiel now. Um for my base, which is mostly like the again, we have the full always go for the full length look unless I'm set out to do like a more basic spread. So for my washi, I did the bridge I did kind of like a bridge of the washi in the middle rather than on one side or the other. And then for my sidebar, I knew I wanted to use. I'm sorry that I'm talking about this without the images in front of the screen, but I wanted to use the scene with the tree, the foiled scene with the trees. At first I thought maybe I was going to do it in the date cover area, has my month call out, but then I was like, this doesn't look great up here, and so I had to do some finagling and like pick very strategically like what the context of that was going to be. I paired it with the fashion girls, so it like looked like she was like looking out at the path, and then I put the gazebo on the other side to kind of like continue that scene. And then at that point I was like, okay, well then that's basically kind of my full box for Monday, because there's really no room to put a full box. I'm kind of weird in the sense that um I like having a somewhat, I wouldn't say always, a somewhat consistent amount of space um for each day of what I can use for my day by day. It's a very strange heads because realistically, like if I end up with um a day that has less, like I just pick and choose what the more quote unquote important thing to mark is going to be. So it's like not that big of a deal. But for some reason in my head, I just really want it to be even, I guess is the best word I want to use. Um, Even though it doesn't really matter in the long run, but that's that's just how my brain works, and I'm not gonna fight with how my brain works. So yeah, I just like the consistency between the days, and if I know for sure that something is not gonna have a lot, then it's okay. And then I just if I end up going a little overboard and realize it at the day by day, I'm like, well, we just pivot and we just move on. We just go with it. And I was realizing this wasn't happening while I was doing the base, but I've somehow ended up with like making these kind of full box sized compositions. Like if you look at the one I'm working on under, what is that, Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. It is about the same size of a full box. And I was just like, it ended up being straight, you know what I mean? Like normally my like compositions can be kind of free form, very organic, but this one just somehow it just ended up being a straight composition that was about in line with the full box. And I'm like, it's kind of weird because I'm also going to end up, I believe I'm going to end up doing it for Monday too, which was um very interesting. See, I'm like spending a lot of time like pulling in foil and all this other stuff, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, why am I spending so much time on this? um but when you're in the zone, you're in the zone, and you just do what you're doing. So that's, I think that's that side. And then for the other side, I remember, made my lesson learned my lesson about keeping some stuff in line with the column and then just going ahead and going crazy with the other things. I think let me see if I can see what I did here before I catch up to myself on the on the screen. Um on this side, I did stacked boxes. Yes. Oh, we're already caught up. I was looking at my phone to see the pictures. Um I did stacked boxes and I wanted to pull in this sleigh. And what's really nice about the 9 full boxes format is the fact that you have kind of these, I wouldn't want when I say throwaway, I don't mean like they don't mean anything, but when I say like throwaway boxes, they're great layering elements. Like I could even staggered that um second full box a little bit less, like covered up more of that plaid pattern, and I wouldn't have felt quote unquote bad about it. Um for me, I still have those slight hangups about like covering extensively covering full boxes that have a lot of like intricate layering and deco to them. So it's kind of interesting that in um like while I do really enjoy the um the 6 full box format that some shops offer now, I think what I need to learn what I need to remember is that I need to pick up like the bigger florals. That way I can kind of emulate the layering of a floral full box with it. Because I could easily have achieved a similar look with a like a large floral, but I don't know, like I think so Regina's current format for her florals is like a sheet of small with the trims, a sheet of mixed with the trims. So, and then just the large florals, which is that's fine, right? Let's shops reformat and figure out what their customers like. And I'm just now learning that with these half size sheet, is that what this is? Whatever size sheet this is, which is fine. Like in the long run, that amount of florals is okay with me. I think I would prefer or appreciate a sheet that had more of the larger florals and less of the smaller florals. Like take her mix sheet and like reduce it down a little bit. I think that's reduce the small florals and put more big florals. More big florals is what I'm saying. So that is my spiel on her kit. Otherwise her kit format's fine. Or I like her kit format. So yeah, that's pretty much the base. I did not open my book to my pages like a numpty. So onto the day by day. I gotta flip one more. There we go. On Monday. Okay, so Monday was a paperwork day, of which I think I either ran out of my paperwork scripts or I had a silver work script, and I was like, it's fine. I'll use work to mark paperwork days. It's cool. It's not the biggest deal. I'll know what it means. And if I don't, I have this notebook to refer to. Um, Sleep Token was my number one artist of the year because of just I don't know. I think their sound is something that scratches a very specific itch in my brain. I blame Sita for this. Um, so they won or they were awarded like I forget which website did this, but their song Emergence, I believe it was. Or was it Caramel? Caramel probably. Was awarded Song of the Year by some magazine. I was just like, that's kind of neat because I feel like um the discourse on Sleep Token is either you love them or you hate them. Um oh, it's kind of like three. You got three kind of buckets. You vehemently hate them. Like you just don't. You're just like this is the worst thing I've ever heard. You love them, which I fall into that camp. And then there's like a third big subset, which is like, okay, like this isn't like the thing for me, but I can see what they're doing, so I can appreciate the artistry that is in this. Um, and I feel like a lot of they're a very polarizing group, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Um, But there the some that fusion sound just like really scratches a very specific part of my brain. And it was, I guess it was speaking to whatever mood I was in last year, because I listened to them a lot after Sita gave me some recs on where I should start. So what else did I mark? Bub came home. Oh, so he must have been off. We must have dropped him off at my mom's house the day before. That makes sense. Then we had hot dogs for dinner. On Tuesday was a Dunkin' run. I had a plan with me go live, and then we had I had pizza for lunch. Wednesday I'm gonna start off with a Dr. Coffee run. I've been doing like these kind of like in progress stories. They kind of started out as like sidebar things, because it used to be focused on my sidebar and like how like whatever new techniques I was trying in my sidebar. This was back in 2024. February 2024 was the first time I did this. And then it kind of evolved because I started taking like, or started doing more, I wouldn't call them experimental necessarily, but I started doing more in like incorporating more of the sidebar stuff throughout the rest of the spread. And so I was like, well, it's not really sidebar things anymore, because I'm kind of um doing the rest of the spread like using these kind of similar techniques. So it doesn't make sense to necessarily just call it sidebar things anymore. So I just call it like my in progress stories. It's usually just like how my base is coming along, what new thing I tried out, or like what thing I'm really proud of, or like what did I wish I didn't do, which has happened a few times where I'm like, "Ah, I wish I didn't do that." But what's done is done. You can't really take it back. I mean, you could. I just don't believe. I don't believe in undo. I'm like, it's just stickers at the end of the day. It's like whatever. It's not like the end of the world for me if it's not exactly what I see in my brain. So I posted an in progress story on Wednesday, and then I started addressing the Christmas cards. A little late. Oh, December 10th. That's not like that late, but it's kind of late. On the 11th, the Thursday, I folded some laundry. I had some Happy Mail to film. So over the course of over the course of time between this session and the last session of filming Happy Mail, I got Sadie stickers Black Friday, Saucy stickers Black Friday, and a TaylorMade Creative. Actually, I think Sadie's would have shown up first. I think I mentioned this in the hall. Sadie's would have shown up first if it wasn't for USPS doing shenanigans, and USPS is still doing shenanigans, and I don't really understand why USPS is doing shenanigans. Well, maybe I do. Maybe they're just busy. Actually, December they were probably just busy. So I'm not. It's not like it wasn't like the end of the world. But I was like, y'all, I would just like my stickers, please. They bring me so much joy. I would just like my stickers, please. Um, and then I had to rearrange the parlor for putting up the Christmas tree, because right now Bub has taken over the parlor. It's his playroom, realistically. And then so we needed to make a spot for the tree, and then my husband and I were discussing. We were like, maybe we should just leave the spot here after the tree is down, for the little guy, so that he has somewhere to like the bassinet, the bassinet or whatever he ends up sleeping in down here. Um, has a place to go. um so we relegated that spot, so Bub's playing in it now, but eventually that will be the spot for the new baby to like primarily sleep in when they're napping during the day down here, because it's quite a hassle to go upstairs to the crib. I'm actually planning on not getting the crib set up until maybe about a month after he's born, or maybe a month. Maybe I'll get it done before that, I don't know, but I'm telling myself if I don't do it before he's born, it's okay, because we've got at least 2 months after he's born where he'll be sleeping in the bassinet with us. So we'll be fine if the crib's not ready yet. But I don't want to have to take the kiddo upstairs to go sleep in the bassinet upstairs. It's kind of annoying. So this was during a daytime session, which is very rare for me. So you could see some of the sunlight coming through. It's actually mucking with my lights, which I didn't realize until I like sat back and looked at it. So I will fix the lighting situation in a little bit. So that's why it like kind of seems darker on the page because the sunlight's kind of throwing off the light balance in the camera. I usually do a lot of my filming at night, vast majority of it. But yeah, moving on. On Friday, I had some starbs. I had some leftovers for lunch, some Chinese leftovers for lunch. My mom wanted to go get Vietnamese food. See, I've closed the window. Closed the shade. My mom wanted some Vietnamese food for dinner, and she was dropping Bub off. I think, yeah, she had to. If I rearranged the parlor, he was not here. Um, so we had pho for dinner, and then I finished. I think I got a majority of the cards addressed at this day, and then I posted about extras if people wanted a happy little card from myself and my family. And then on Saturday I made breakfast before we went to go get the Christmas tree. My husband had a Christmas tree place that he usually went to, but we were like, it's really far. It's like an hour out. The first time we actually went there, like, Bub was 3 months. Little guy, little baby. He actually threw up on himself. Actually, was that the second year? No, it was the first year. He actually threw up because the path we took, or the road we took, was really windy. So like I was also having an upset stomach at the time. So we decided not to go back there again. Because it's like almost an hour away. So we went to a different place, a lot closer, which was good. It was a good experience. Thank goodness it was a lot closer. Then my husband wanted Red Robin, so we got some Red Robin because there was a Red Robin right under right in the area. And then one of the biggest things we do, or one of the traditions, I guess, or one of our traditions, is that we put a train under the tree, meaning the presents don't actually go under the tree until maybe like 2 or 3 days before Christmas. So if we have presents, they kind of just chill somewhere until till about Christmas time. But we don't usually have a lot of Christmas presents under the tree. Our house is not what we call the party house. So in all honesty, the only presents we realistically have under the tree are ours, which we don't really like. Bub's the only person that really needs a lot of presents right now, and then the little guy when he shows up. But yeah, so we set up a Thomas train under the tree this year. Not electric. Normally it would be an electric train, but my husband did not want to. He didn't want to have to worry about Bub possibly electrocuting himself, which is a valid point. So I think it was is it called Trackmaster? I don't remember what it's called, but it's one, battery powered one, battery powered Thomas. On Sunday there was snow. I don't think it was a lot of snow, but it was enough snow that they had to go shovel a driveway. I decorated the tree. Um, it was a rough day for Bub. He was going through a lot of big emotions, and pregnant me is going through a lot of emotions. So it was a rough day all around. So my husband put Bub to sleep that night so I could have a little bit of a break. So that is the spread. That was like my foil wiggle here. And then here are the kit leftovers. Oh, I didn't use any of the floral boxes. That is interesting. Very interesting. Um so that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I would love it if you gave the video a little like. Leave a comment with any of your thoughts down below. Oh, and these are the two those are the two alcohol inks that I use because I did not pick up the alcohol inks for this collection. Oh my goodness. My brain. Um Leave a comment with any of your thoughts down below, and I would be so happy if you join my little channel here by subscribing. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.